Hello and welcome back to Niche Tea, where I talk about drama happening in communities you may not be a part of. We just got power back, and I'm very happy about that. I don't remember what we talked about last time. I've literally been living in chaos. I will check the playlist and I'll let you know. Oh my God, hold on.
Daddy made it.
Daddy made it. He's been obsessed with Ghostbusters lately, and apparently Daddy made him his own Slimer. That's amazing. I am truly the embodiment of chaos lately. Also, I got stung by a wasp yesterday on my finger and it swelled up so bad. It hurt so bad. Oh my God. Anyway, enough of all of that. This story has been kind of keeping me going through all of this because it is so funny to watch happen. And somebody sent this to me. Thank you so much. And there's very little chance you've heard about this because it's so small and it's not getting a lot of traction, but it's so funny. Talking about a beef that's ongoing right now in the leatherworking community, mostly on Reddit. Background's pretty quick. I think we know what leatherworking is, or if you haven't heard of it, I think it makes sense in context. It's when you use leather to make things. Now, in order to do this, you obviously need pieces of leather, and I would assume most leather workers aren't making their own leather. That seems like you'd be going through a lot of cows to do that. So there quite literally are leather supply shops that exist throughout the world, and they'll usually ship all over the world because it's a pretty specialty thing. So in these shops, you can go in and see, here are the pieces of leather that they have and what imperfections or how was it aged or how was it dyed or whatever. And it does seem like there's some level of recommendation of like this type of leather would be good for this type of thing. So that's really all the background you need to know. And basically a couple of days ago, someone sent me a link to go check out this back and forth that just keeps happening on r/leathercraft. And this literally sent me down a rabbit hole about this beef that's going on between this guy and an online leather supply store that is, I keep getting notifications about it. It's like still happening, but it has been going on for 2 years. The supply store is called buyleatheronline.com or BLO, and the customer's name is Poonkala. I'm filming this in between meetings, by the way, so things might change shot to shot. Also, it already looks like it's going to be another thunderstorm, and we literally just got power back, so that's awesome. We're just rolling with it at this point. So 2 years ago, Poonkala bought from Buy Leather Online. They then posted on Reddit after the experience talking about how they didn't really like the experience. I feel like this light is so bright, so I'm just gonna go like this. They said most of their order was great, but there was this one piece that was listed as like first grade, which is the highest grade, and in their opinion had a lot of imperfections in it compared to both what they would expect for that grade of leather, but then also compared to the photos that are on the actual website. And they do link to photos of what was on the website and photos of the piece that they got, and it does look like there are a lot of nicks on it. So I say that as a person who doesn't know anything about leatherworking. So they say they reached out to customer service, but basically nobody was working for several weeks in August because it was like a summer holiday for the whole company, and they didn't hire anyone from like a temp agency or anything to cover while they were out. And then they say when they did get back to them, they were friendly, but also were not jumping to correct the thing so much as trying to convince them that this was normal and expected, you know, that there would be imperfections and that this is what happens. And they were doing that thing where they educate instead of try and resolve. Poonkala then says they wrote a 1-star review for the business based on this experience, which was taken down. So they wrote another one, which was also taken down, and they got quote unquote vague legal threats from the business via email about the reviews and it being like defamation, which Poonkala also shows screenshots of. That was basically the original post, was just saying, hey, watch out for these guys. This sucked and this was a bad interaction. And people had mixed feelings. Like a lot of people in the comments were like, I've actually had great experiences with them. But a lot of people said, yeah, I think their products are good and maybe it was just a weird situation with you, but I don't like how they responded to this. It doesn't seem professional. Poonkala also, sometime after that, I think posted that same review in a different leatherworking subreddit called Cord Weighting. It had the same content in it, and again, didn't really go crazy, opened some discussion, people talked about their experiences. That was pretty much it. Then apparently about a year ago, BLO found the posts that Poonkala made and emailed them again to threaten them with more legal action. The email exchange itself is so funny. Hold on. Hello, Poonkala. We're happy to see that you followed our suggestion to not post on the social things that are your opinion and can damage the work of people and company reputation. Defaming company reputation without explaining the real situation, it's a damage for us and for all the people that work with us. Moreover, it's a criminal offense punished internationally, and we will do everything in our power to defend our rights in the appropriate forums after this post. To which Poonkala responds, it's protected by law under free speech, go fuck yourself. Which, even if Poonkala is wrong, which I don't think they are, that's amazing. BLO responds and says, we'll see you in court, and links to something that is in Italian and about Italian law, I assume relating to defamation. Puncala responds and basically says the law, whatever they're referencing, doesn't apply to them because they're not a competitor and it's competitors promoting their own products, and this is a consumer review. And also points out again, this is an Italian law and Puncala is allegedly in Finland. So no, that's again, go fuck yourself. And then reports to have blocked their email. Then we get to about 3 months ago, Puncala comes on and posts again and is like, hey, an annual reminder, don't buy with these people, they suck, and details everything that I just explained that happened about a year ago. Plus the fact that apparently BLO doxed their full name in replies to their original threads, and other people had to tell them that so they could report those comments. That brings us to where we are now, because apparently BLO was very upset by that final post from about 3 months ago from Puncala. 4 days ago, Puncala comes back and posts again and is like, hey, these guys sent me a legal notice over this. And again, links to photos of it, and it's literally a letter being like, you're saying defamatory things, like, you don't be mean to me. And it includes the exact URLs for each of its previous Reddit threads. It's really specific. And then at the end, it gets so dramatic. Hold on. All this being said, hereby, I warn you to immediately and without delay interrupt the unjustly defamatory activity carried out against the company I represent. Warning from now on that no further acts detrimental to the company's reputation will be tolerated, with the reservation of protecting the reason of my clients also in criminal proceedings, with every broadcast reservation of rights, reasons, and actions. I had to. And Puncala is posting like, hey, every time you guys do something weird, I'm going to post about it. I wouldn't have posted 3 months ago if you guys hadn't harassed me again via email, and I wouldn't be posting right now if you hadn't sent me this letter. I am allowed to write a review of my experience with your company. You cannot stop me from doing that. Then the next day, BLO goes onto Reddit and writes this massive thread from their point of view of what happened in their exchange with Puncala. So in this big ass post that BLO made, they basically cover every little thing that's been brought up. And this is like a well-structured post. They've been working on this for a while, you can tell. There's bullets, there's bolding, there's links, there's an itemized list of things that happened. There's all kinds of stuff. Their key arguments against this guy are, one, that he returned and was refunded for the leather, and he doesn't mention that. Two is that they claim that Puncala returned the leather to them without giving any notice or getting like a return authorization or, you know, the normal way you do a return. According to them, when Puncala couldn't get in touch with them, they just returned the leather anyway and were like demanding a refund, which they say they gave. And then three is that they say that Puncala then demanded a refund for the shipping costs for them shipping it on their own without like a cheaper rate that theoretically BLO could have given them. And then according to BLO, Puncala directly threatened to just like defame them online intentionally. So theoretically that would explain why they're being so involved with a negative reviewer. They also say that they kind of have to respond because Puncala keeps posting about it, but Puncala's like, I'm only posting about it because you keep reaching out to me and threatening legal action, and I'm telling everyone everything you do. Then Puncala the same day posts an official reply to BLO's long post with their own very long post, going through every single point of the transaction from their point of view and pointing out where they say BLO is lying or where things are partially correct, etc. They again have a lot of screenshots and complained about the amount of work it took to go back through this like 20 email thread that they've had for several years apparently in their email. Puncala directly says that BLO is lying about Puncala threatening to go to social media about the experience if their shipping isn't refunded. And they do show allegedly the entire email thread, so it's up to BLO to show those screenshots if they exist. At this point, everyone's like, please figure this out. We are begging you. Which I agree, but I also absolutely have different expectations of standards from a company than I do from a customer. The idea that a company would ever come out doing all of this against one person because they didn't like their experience with you. They didn't say anything crazy. They just said they didn't like their experience with you. And still a lot of people in the initial review was like, I've had good experiences with them, so it's been fine. Like, they've lost way more customers just purely from the way they've reacted to this, in my opinion, than they would have otherwise. But yeah, people are very much over it. My favorite response is actually in the latest post, and it's a mod saying, I'm locking this thread, don't make me turn this car around.